just finished up my coaching session with one of my business clients who was at one point was confused about area of concern versus circle of influence. What he was thinking about the world problems and the country issues, the politics. However, his focus should have been on the people who he serve and the people who he lead. The circle of influence. When we set up the stage in order to work toward it, we found some successes. And the idea in order to enforce the circle of influence was based on 5 fundamental things. Let me share with you today. Number 1, be credible in the eyes of your team member, your people who is reporting to you, as well as the clients. And how do you do that? You would do that, do what you say you're going to do. Make sure you act in a positive and professional manner. That's gonna really continuously create a credibility. It's a long process, but definitely achievable one. Number 2, don't assume you know everything. Ask questions. When we ask questions to people who we really believe work and wanted to work, we actually connect. We were able to understand what are their ideas and how we can make sure our business and our personal align. Number 3, build a relationship. In my business coaching, I always say the relationship is one thread at a time, one act of kindness, one product, one service that you have done externally. In return, a client give you a referral. In return, employee make a really positive, proactive actions on your behalf. And that's one thread at a time creates a strong rope. And when that rope being strong, the relationship being strong, you can conquer the world. Number 4, communicate consciously. With this new world, we have numerous ways in order to communicate. Make sure you communicate appropriately. Is that the communication would be in person, via text, on a phone call, or email, vice versa. Make sure your communication with your circle of influence is determined very, very intelligently. And number 5, the most obvious one, walk the talk. Make sure you follow through on your commitments. Make sure when you say what you're going to say is what you're going to do. That is something is so valuable that when you really use this, when you follow through on your commitments, people will follow through on their commitments, and that's a win-win. In 6 months, my client used this 5-step process. Then he was able to understand what people want. He was able to communicate what his expectations are. And it was a win-win situation, creating a most productive team and a fluent bunch of happy, satisfied customers giving more referrals. Let's start focusing on circle of influence, making deeper meaning and better relationships.